Hey, it's James, Father's Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. I just talked to somebody who's behind on child support and they got a deadline to pay back support. Here's what I would do if I was in that situation. If if I can't afford, like, let's say they say, okay, um, you need to pay a lump sum of $5,000 by the end of February. Right now it's like February 10th. So I got 18 days to pay a lump sum. If I can't afford that, I'm gonna at least pay everything that I can. I might go buy a bunch of top ramen or some canned beans and put them all on my shelf and take a picture of that. And then by the time we have a review hearing, or if the other side does a contempt motion against me, I'll say, hey, look, I'm doing everything that I can. I'm doing, I got outside of eating and paying my bills, and I'm sacrificing and cutting back on the eating, or I'm eating one meal a day and then I'm just eating a can of beans or whatever to get caught up on this. If I pay like a few $100 every couple of weeks and build up to it, by the time we have a review hearing, I'm showing that I'm trying to do something in good faith, and I show my numbers and my books and all that other stuff, that I'm down to zero in my bank account when I pay off, when I pay a couple hundred, and then I'm paying the basic amount on time. But the back support, I'm paying what I can. And the thing is, if you say I can't afford that and you pay zero, then you're really in contempt, because contempt, the elements of contempt are a violation of a valid court order. The court order has to be valid and be strictly construed, or it has to be specific. It has to have specific provisions. So if you're supposed to pay a specific amount of money by a specific time, that's pretty specific. So as long as it's not vague and confusing, like a lot of people might have a parenting plan that says, oh, or somebody might have a parenting plan that says, oh, you get every other weekend from Friday through Sunday. If it doesn't have times, then the mother can hand the kids over at 11:59 p.m. on Friday and be technically right. And she can't be found in contempt because there's not a strict definition of what the parenting plan says. It's not strictly construed what she's violating. But if you're supposed to pay $5,000 by the end of February and you don't have it, then you better start sacrificing. You show a good faith effort. So the elements of contempt are a violation of a valid court order that's strictly construed, and it's willful and without reasonable excuse. So you got to be intentionally violating the order. You don't have an excuse. Say, if I'm paying $0 because I can't, and I see guys do this all the time, and you're a stupid, dumb idiot and a stupid jackass. If you're paying zero, at least pay $40 or something to make it look like you're making an effort. It looks like you're intentionally not paying it when you pay zero. Well, I can't afford all that, so I won't pay anything. Even bill collectors, if you're behind on your Verizon bill, like you got behind and then they canceled it, or you went to a different phone, and so now they're trying to collect on it and threaten collection agencies. If you tell them, hey, look, can I work with you? I'll pay like $100 a month for the next 5 months. You got 500 behind or something like that. They'll work with you. They'd rather work with you and get their money than not. So if you go to court and every week or every couple weeks or every payday, you pay whatever you got left after you pay your bills and buy food, or maybe you push your bill off until the end of the month that you normally pay at this time, then you have a record of showing a good faith effort. It's not, if you pay zero, there's nobody in the world that can't afford to pay a penny or more on their child support. So if you're paying zero, what you're saying is I'm incapable of paying $5 or $10 or whatever, and she's got a picture of you drinking at a party, or you got Starbucks in your hand in a picture at a visitation exchange. You could have dropped the Starbucks and paid $10 toward your child support. That's the way they look at it. So if it's me, I'm paying as much of a chunk as I can and being able to pay my bills and change my habits or whatever. So I go to court and say, look, I usually go down to the beach, twice a week and go for a walk and clear my mind. I didn't do that. That's 30 miles worth of gas or something like that. Cut back on everything you can, and then cut back on the food, and get a bunch of top ramen or a bunch of canned beans or a bunch of tuna fish and say, I know this is what I'm eating right now. I got a bulk amount of food doing this, and I'm just drinking water for now. Then it'll look like you're making an extra effort or a good faith effort to catch up on that, and they can't really knock you. And then if it comes time, so let's say I'm paying $300 every other paycheck on top of my bills, on top of my basic amount of child support. Let's say my child support is $1,000 a month. I pay that, pay a few $100 a month, and so by the time we roll around to the end of February, I've been paying I got $900 on the back child support, so I'm still like $4,100 away. But I show up in court, I say, look what I'm doing. I'm doing what I can. If you throw me in jail or find me in contempt, I can't do this, and the money's not going toward the kid, even though child support's a scam. I'm still going to say this stuff in court. And then, if the other side decides to do a contempt motion against me, I have a right to an attorney. So I'm going to delay the hearing, demand my right to an attorney, and get a continuance. And then the hearing's pushed out 4 weeks or whatever. I take my sweet time in the process, however long it takes to, do that process. I'm going to drag it out so that in the meantime, I made 2 or 3 more payments, and I'm consistently, every paycheck, I'm paying a few $100. So you're going to find me in contempt? I have to have a willful violation it's not willful for me to not pay up the $5,000 at once. I'm not intentionally doing that. I don't have it, so I can't intentionally be holding on to $5,000. And then they can't say I'm acting in bad faith, because look at all the good faith things I'm doing. Cutting back on my food, streamlining my bills, not driving around and wasting gas, eating 1 meal a day, paying a few $100 every paycheck. Look at my bank account. Around paycheck time, I pay my bills. A couple days later, there's $0 in the bank, because I pulled out and paid everything that I got. See, going to court is putting on a show to convince them of something. A lot of times the people who win are the people who lie and deceive and put on a great show. But go in there and actually really do this stuff and show them and put on a show with the truth and the facts and the things that you're doing to fix the issue or whatever. But I would never, ever not pay anything and have a record of paying 0 child support every month, or even if it's just the back child support. That's stupid. You can at least pay $10, $17, $8. You pay different amounts. Okay, I'm paying $47. That's the last penny I had. That's everything I had. An odd number like that. So that's what I do for back support. If you go to court and you have review hearings on back support and you haven't paid anything, you're going to get found in contempt and thrown in jail. If you if you attack it from every angle, and then you demand your right to an attorney, you demand your attorney to look up case law in your state on contempt and the elements of bad faith and what it means, and that they have to show that you're willfully doing it. And you say, look, I'm not willfully withholding $5,000 because I don't have it. I can't pay that. It's impossible, but I'm doing everything I can and working toward paying it off. There you go.